Hello everyone, this is Awkward Audrey and welcome to my art hour. Today we will be doing a cat in a bikini getting ready for the beach. Now I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do for a silly cat silhouette, and I was excited that I was able to pull this off. As it turns out that cats are really easy to uh, imagine. A little more difficult to draw when they're not in the simple like pose, like they're staring at you from across the room, wondering why you haven't, filled their food bowl yet. Mm. But this one is ready to go. This one is ready for surf, for waves, for just tanning on the beach. I don't know, but it's gonna be happy. Let's take a look. Da, da. So I have my supplies ready to go with a kneaded eraser because while I am glad that I have been able to sketch this out, I don't want any of the pencil marks to get stuck underneath the watercolor paints when I am done. So before I actually get to watercoloring, I will be erasing the pencil marks that I have made. And then finally I decided that what I was going to do for this was I was going to use just primary colors for the most part with a splash of maybe green at the end. Hi Jason, thanks for joining. Okay. There we go. Let's get this ready to be set up. Hope y'all can see this okay. Okay, so I'm going to start by erasing. And what I'm doing with the kneaded eraser is I am just going through, with the kneaded eraser, I'm going through and getting rid of all these harsh lines so that they don't stay when I do the watercolor. One of the benefits of using a kneaded eraser is that it is pretty much infinitely reusable as far as I can tell. Yeah, it's a cool cat. And it doesn't degrade like other erasers like you'd find on the end of your mechanical pencil, which is what I did use to draw this cool cat in her bikini. And it picks it up, and it pretty much, as far as I can tell, just keeps it until you don't need it anymore. Like you can see previously where I have graphite on in here, but it doesn't ever get onto the paper of the new project that I'm working on, so I am okay with that. Da-da. And there we go, back to being one kneaded eraser yet again. Now this lady, she's pretty cool. She's got aviator sunglasses on. And she's got what I believe I was able to kind of pull off was a bikini slash one piece. So like got the one piece down here, and then it's attached to the rest that goes up to the shoulders so they can all be done in one piece. Apparently cats have the things you learn for these types of pictures, okay? Apparently cats have 8 nipples. So I was wondering how I was going to draw all that, and I decided that I was going to try and just make it as simple as possible and just have the 6 on top, and then the whatever ones were nearest the bottom of the belly would be just covered by the rest of the swimsuit. So for this silhouette, what I'll be doing is I will actually not be painting the cat itself. I will be painting around the cat and the items on the cat, like the bikini and the aviator glasses. What I'm hoping to do is hi Shannon, thanks for joining. Kind of have some movement with the watercolor. and kind of look splashy and colorful and vibrant. That's my goal. You can see there's some parts here where I got a little bit too vigorous with the mechanical pencil, and it's it's a cat swimsuit, Shannon. It's the best type of swimsuit. So I got a little bit too forceful here on a couple of these things where I was drawing, and so I'm probably gonna have to go back with more eraser when I get to those parts, because I really don't want these to show up. But for now, the guidelines are there, and tacky, and I'll get started on these bits. And if I feel like there are spots that have too much pencil, I'll go and erase them before I get to that spot. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. All right, here we go. So like we normally do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in a section in the area that is surrounding the cat, since the cat itself will not be painted in, and I will get the area wet. And I think since I am right-handed, I don't want to accidentally paint on the right side and then smudge it with my hand when I go to do the left. So we're going to start with the left side. And we're going to do this pretty paw up here. Don't know what this cat's grabbing for, but it's got a pretty paw. It could be reaching up to hit a volleyball. It could be flagging down the waiter for a margarita. Ooh, a daiquiri? Yes, strawberry banana daiquiri. Or maybe just some iced tea. Yellow polka dot bikini. That's such a good idea. Okay, done. Itsy bitsy, teeny weeny, yellow polka dot bikini. I hadn't actually decided on what color the bikini was going to be. And I have decided that this is a modest kitty. Doesn't want to be flaunting her assets. Like some people's cats, Mom. Like Ivy. Just likes to sprawl out when she's super relaxed. Alright, so if the bikini is going to be yellow, then we don't want too much yellow out here. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to start with some red. Strawberry banana and ew, tuna daiquiri. Gross. Mom, that's gross. Why are you here? So, I don't know. Maybe that's exactly what a cat would want. Okay, so let's get in on this, because we all know this is my favorite part. I've wetted the paper, and now we're going to put ink on it. Boop. There we go. Da-da. Oh, is there a friend on? Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining. Here we go. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it so much. It kind of looks fiery, a little less water beachy, but that's fine. Gross, this is a cat's drink. Okay. So you know what? I think I quite like that as that is. So I'm going to, I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to wait for that to dry and call that a project. Ooh, catnip tea. Best tea. Now that this is wet, so up here, so I don't want to shake the, or move the paper too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly move the paper over to the side over here. And we're going to just work on the other side of that paw. Oop, sorry, bumped the table there. Now I should be careful with where I'm putting the water because I don't necessarily want, because since the idea of this is that it's going to be a silhouette, I don't want to get too much color where the cat silhouette's going to be. But what I'm thinking is, especially if I'm going to do yellow polka dots, like somebody suggested, like Shannon suggested, then I might want to go back later with a white paint to do some details. Okay, so now we're going to put, I think we're going to put in some blue. This blue is a little bit wild, so you have to be careful with when using it. I don't want to get you accidentally use too much. Let's see. Where do we want the most of it to be? Let's put it right at the elbow, I think. Yeah. Just like that. Maybe a little bit more. Here we go. Awesome. Possum? Haha. Oh, it's another possum joke, but you know, I'm thinking more like cat's paw. So many puns, so little time. How's your week been, all you guys? I'm curious. It's been like wonderfully sunny here, but kind of cold. It's been a little bit colder than I thought it was going to be compared to how sunny it was. Ooh. Yeah. Look at that go. This is so pretty. So pretty. Okay. Let's go on to this one. This section here. I actually had to call out sick this week. Oop. There we go. You have to be careful, I guess, with how much blue I use, or how much water I use near this blue. Okay. I think that is not quite what I want, so I'm going to just dry up this area, I think, a little bit, and then we're going to go from there. So what I'm doing is I am putting water around this area, but not next to this area. So there's going to be a line after the fact, but I'm okay with that. I might go over this later once it's dried with a different layer, so we can get multiple layers of this type of look. Okay. Now I'm thinking let's try. I want to do yellow, but yellow doesn't. I don't think this yellow is going to show up as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some yellow in here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of red to make it a vibrant orange. There we go. Get some water in there and mix it up. There we go. Let's see. How am I feeling about that? Maybe, I'm thinking that's good enough for right now. That's good enough right now. Right, going in. Okay. Gonna re-wet this just a little bit. It still has a little bit of the orange on it, but I think I'll be okay with that. Okay, now I'm going to take this, get some on the tip here. There we go. Yellow and blue would grow green. Green's my favorite color, so I think I might try that on the other side, depending on how this goes. Okay. And I do like that color, but it is pretty close to the red. The red's pretty powerful, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add some yellow directly on top of this white patch, this water patch, and see how the colors interact with each other. Oh, they're staying pretty separated. That's a little, that's surprising. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. I'm gonna pull that through here. There we go. There we go. Kind of got a warm, yellowy orange. And I'm thinking, you know, that now that I'm looking at it, that I will probably on the other side do a vibrant turquoise, and then we'll see how it goes. Oh, hey Dan, thanks for joining us. We are currently watercoloring this cool cat in a bikini with aviator glasses on. And waiting for the watercolor to dry. I'm not the most patient person. So we're just going to move on to the next section here. And hopefully by the time I get around to this next area, we'll get to a nice dry spot. Or it'll be nice and dry so I could add some more detail. Okay. So now I think we'll add some, I'm going to add some water to this area. Here we go. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. This cat is getting beach body ready. It's a perfect beach body. Okay. I think I want to add some more blue. I'm really liking this blue. Hey, thank you very much. Hey, Terry. Thanks for joining. Dun, dun. Yes, here we go. Love this part. Maybe I'll just do my paintings like this the rest of the time, because this is way more satisfying than doing flowers, let me tell you. And maybe I'm just not doing flowers correctly. Okay, I'm thinking let's add some of that orange right here. Get the very bold line kind of in between the blue and the yellow. Maybe drag it out a little bit. Ooh, yeah, kind of like that. Looks like it's splashing. Oop, the blue is creeping in. We'll see how that goes. It might just turn into like a muddy brown color. Okay. Alright, I'm going to rotate this a little bit because I have only so much space to work with. But while still not getting the side of my hand on any of the work I've already done, I'm going to continue on the outline of my cat. Oop, and that still has some color in it. So we're going to do what I have learned, one, pick this up with a paper towel as quickly as possible, and the color will not stay on the paper. And then if you ever want to clean your brush without ruining your brush in water, then what you do is you take it in the glass and you make without touching, like smushing it against the bottom, which is what I like to do. I'm going to try and be kinder to my tools here, is you make a figure 8 and you do it really quickly. And that should get all the ink or paint or whatever it is you have on your brush out of the bristles and into the water. I'm gonna put that over there. There we go. And we're back at it. Okay. When I was drawing this, I was actually very surprised by how small cat feet are when they are standing. Like, they'd have to be pretty much leaping or jumping in order for you to really see the full, how big their feet actually are. Sometimes you couldn't even see anything but their cute little toes. What is it people call? Toe beans. They're cute little toe beans. I've never actually owned a cat, but I really want a cat. Now, normally, right about here, this part is super fluffy, but since we are constricting this poor cat into a bikini, it is more restricted, and you can kind of see the crotch area of the cat. But when it's all said and done, then the swimsuit will be readily apparent, and hopefully we'll be able to see just how fluffy this cat's fur really is. Okay. So now, let's take a look. What do I want to do? I'm thinking that I want to do a slightly different blue color, which means that I'm not going to be able to just use my watercolor pen off the bat, which is what I have here. In case none of you have seen this before, a watercolor brush pen automatically has the watercolor pigment mixed with some water in the inkwell of the brush, and then you just pretty much have to squeeze it out to get it onto the paper. And that's really useful because then you don't have any of these large chunks that you get when you are actually looking at a watercolor palette. And anybody who's done that before knows what I'm talking about. You try to get the right color out of your watercolor palette, and you just end up with these chunks in your color. I'm not a big fan of that. It makes it more difficult. So having these brush pens is very nice. However, it does make mixing colors a little bit more difficult than I'm used to, because I'm used to, just having a palette and just taking whatever colors I want and putting it in there and mixing it to the right color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blue, oh Jesus, that's a lot of blue. Oh, sweet Lord in heaven, save me. And then we're going to put some yellow in there. Over here. We're going to put it way over here, and then we're going to add just a little bit of blue at a time until we get the right turquoisey color that I'm looking for. Okay. Alright, so that's a little bit too green, like leaf green. So we're going to put in a little bit more blue. Oh, crap. The colors are mixing. Okay, I've totally botched this. It's all part of the show, guys. It's all part of the show. Oh well. I think this is close to the color what I want anyway. Okay, you know what? That's a lie. I want more blue. Okay. Unfortunately, all the colors are mixing now, so this isn't going well. Oh, hey, but that is getting close to what I'm looking for. Okay. Just a little more blue and we'll call it a project. And a heck of a show it is, right? Thank you. Thank you. I do what I can. Okay, so we're gonna call that good enough. Now this is kind of dried, but for the most part it is still wet. So we're just gonna kind of re-wet it with this color here. There we go. Now I'm going to dry dry the tip here and put it directly into the pigment I just made. Oh, that's not. Ugh. What nonsense. Okay. This is turning out more brown than I anticipated. And this is not the area I'd want to color as something brown. So, what we're going to do to fix this. What are we going to do to fix this? By the way, I never claimed to be a pro at this, but this is how you become a pro, is by making these types of mistakes. Okay, so now that it is a little bit botched from what I originally intended, we're going to re-wet the area. It's still a nice green, it's just not the green I was looking for. Yep, forest green. Forest green. But this is not, I want a beach, not a forest. It's a sad story. Okay. So we're going to take this and we're going to take yellow and drop it over here. I'm going to lift up some of this pigment before it settles in too much. Okay. And then we're going to take blue. Lots of blue. And we're going to let it do its thing. And hopefully when it mixes, it will get close to what I was looking for. I really am bummed that color didn't work out. I just need a bigger palette than this little bowl that I'm using. So I'm going to clean out this bowl with my paper towel and just start fresh. You're on the internet. Doesn't that mean that you're a pro and know what you're talking about? Nope. Nope. Not me. Sea lettuce green. There we go. That's right. Sea lettuce green. Oh, shoot. I just got ink on my finger and I touched my face. I hope it's not on my face. Okay. So that was take one, and we're just going to let that dry while we try this again. I did learn a lot, and that was that I did only need a little bit of yellow compared to what I thought I was going to need. So we're going to put blue in first and then just a drop of yellow. And I'm getting a phone call, but I'm getting to ignore that. Okay. There we go. Do you see that's a little bit of a better green. Kind of that tropical bluish green. Okay. And the great thing about watercolor ink pigment is that it only takes water to reactivate it. So if this were to dry, like say I had to leave like right now for an emergency and leave this overnight, this color is exactly what and this color is exactly what I'd want. All I would need to do to reactivate it is to put water on it, and then it's ready to go. Okay. And this might work out better than I anticipated. I don't know. Okay. Here we go. Oh, can you see that? Nope, you can't see that. Your fans are calling. Yep. If you call right now, you can get $1 million for free. Call the number on your screen. We'll even throw you in a t-shirt and a VCR player. Okay. Okay. Now for the adding the pigment. Oh, it's so pretty. Maybe this is kind of like an emerald green. Like a sea emerald green. I don't know. I'm sure that somebody who has done art for years will know all the pigments. Oh, do you guys see that? It's just kind of flowing in over here, and it's going to wrap around the tail. So I'm just going to keep adding and see what happens. Shannon, why are you calling me? Shannon! Thanks, Terry. Very kind of you to say. Okay. So yeah, that is the color I'm looking for. That's the color I was originally going for. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. So I'm going to just kind of dab at the tips of this foot, the little toe beans, and so it'll blend in with the forest green that I accidentally made earlier. And I've used up almost all of my pigment. Totally worth it. This is very beautiful. Okay, next section. Next section. Now this I might want to make yellow. So we're gonna, I didn't really clean off my brush because I don't want it to be pure yellow. So I'm gonna kind of flick water this way so it can have some texture, a little action with some of these brush strokes. And now we're gonna add some of that yellow. Now, generally speaking, I have found yellow to be a very difficult color to work with. And that's probably just me not knowing. Oh, shoot. I forgot to erase some of these marks. Oh well. And maybe that's just me because I don't experiment with yellow enough. If I were to take the time to actually figure out how to best work with yellow, that'd be great. But I have found that across the board, yellow is a very difficult color to work with because like with acrylic paint, it's a very transparent color. Whereas if you were to like take a blob of blue and put it onto a canvas and smush it around, it would be pretty consistent. If you were to take a blob of yellow and put it on and not smush it around, you could still see through it. So you have to be very careful in how you plan those colors. And with this watercolor, as you can see with the blue, it just like went right across. But here maintained, it's kept pretty close to where I originally put it. Your phone is unavailable. I called for the million! No! Oh. Oh man, I guess I shouldn't say that. I could be liable for such things. On Facebook, there are some very intense laws on what you can offer. Facebook, on Facebook and through sweepstakes and such, they take that very seriously. Shannon, I had no idea you're such a little troublemaker. Such a troublemaker. Okay. We are going to leave that to dry. Move on to the next section. And I'm liking how the other sections are drying, so I can't wait to get back around and show you how they are turning out. Now this paw feels like very posh, you know, like it's just, this arm is out to the side and pretty level. Like, waiter, garçon. So for this piece, it looks like I used quite a bit of blue. So now we're going to go kind of circle around back to red. All right. Come here, red. And it looks like I'm using cadmium red hue is the color that I'm using. Nope, there we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And there's a bubble. There, bubble. There we go. Okay, and then I think I'm going to add a little bit of, just a tad, just a little bit of yellow. There we go. Let's just see what that pigment does. Ooh, I like that. Very pretty. And somehow I got water on my phone. That's okay. Mm. Oh shoot. So you can see there was a few times here that I tried to shoot. I tried to draw the shoulder and I didn't quite get it right. And now that I've erased it, I'm not sure which one is the one I intended. I think it's this one. It looks like there's still a little bit of green on my brush here. Okay. what do I want to do? Let's make some orange. A little bit of red. And then a lot of yellow, I think. There we go. Oh, so pretty. Is the cat a southpaw? I don't know. What's a southpaw? Educate me. I don't know what a southpaw is. Ah, there you go. Lefty. Maybe. Maybe maybe this cat is a southpaw. Okay. I'm liking how that's progressing. So we're going to move on. Let it do its thing. But now, you know what? Now I'm looking back down here, and this is not a very vibrant color, and we need some, in order for this to be a vibrant silhouette, we need the boundaries to be very clear and colorful. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some water, put it back here, and then put some more yellow. There. With a whole bunch of bubbles. Oh my goodness. Bubbles galore today. Nope. None of that, please. None of that. I didn't ask for bubbles. That was not the effect I was going for. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Indeed. Okay. So now for this spot. Now we're at the last of it, and this is where I can kind of get to decide what the rest of the outline of the piece is going to look like. So this would be a good time to take a step back and show you what the rest of the painting looks like. Ta-da! And you can see here, this is where I put that orange and I started with the blue, and it started to bleed into the orange. And at first I wasn't really sure if I was going to like that or not, because it could just end up being a brown color. And that's true, it did end up being a slightly brown color. But you know what, I actually really like the effects that came out of that. Where the blue kind of came in, it gave it this different texture than I was anticipating, and I quite like it. No, what do you guys think? Thoughts? I think more green. Green is my favorite color. So we're gonna, I think, do a little more green up here, because that's what I want. Looking at the rest of the piece, there is only a little bit of green. So I think that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put in here. Okay, that's still good. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There's the blue. One more, a couple more, I guess. And put in some yellow. I like it. It looks like it is intended. Yay! Thank you. Yeah, this yellow really likes the bubbles, huh? As long as we can get a couple drops of yellow in there, it's fine. There we go. Okay, now to mix. Let's see if we can get the right color. Yep, that's good. That's the right color. I dig it. So now that's there. We're going to go in towards the head, towards the face, which is essentially the most important, one of the most important spots when doing anything, because people will recognize when it's not right. We're going to go in, and I don't necessarily want it to connect with this, so we're going to start just a little bit above and put water just above it. What's up with the bubbles? Are the pens getting empty? Actually, this particular pen I just opened. Like, I'd been using a different type of yellow, and I didn't realize that there was another yellow that I hadn't opened. So I was using that. This is actually new, and I don't know what the deal is with it. I wish I did. Okay. And so we're going to kind of tiptoe around the area that's already wet, and then add some texture, some action strokes, as it were. Okay, I think that's good enough to get started. There we go. Very nice. Okay, I think we're gonna add a little bit more ink here. And we'll just kind of see what happens. At this point, the page is getting a little warped so that the water is pooling a little bit. You know what's not on here is purple. But I'm actually, surprisingly, I'm okay with that. Purple is another one of the colors that I really enjoy. Okay. So maybe the aviators will be purple. You know what? Maybe that's what we'll do instead. Instead of it being a yellow polka dot swimsuit, we'll have it be a purple polka dot swimsuit, and we'll have these purple aviators instead. You sent me pictures? Oh, good. Yeah, I saw you sent me something. I didn't, and I obviously can't look at it right now. This is because I'm in the middle of doing this. But yes, I'll definitely take a look when I'm done. Okay. So now, let's see, is there any spot? It does look like there's this paw. This paw's not done. And this paw also has a little bit of detail because it's got those inner corners for the paw. Now we're just going to tiptoe on by the red that's already there. Okay, what color should I do here? I think final splash of blue. And then maybe a little rest of this teal green that I have been using. And I'll bring it all together. Okay. There we go. Get some of the detail in. And then go in with the rest of that green that I had. I do kind of like it. It kind of looks like water shooting out of this paw here. Okay. Ta-da! Ta-da! Let's see. Now, while some of this is still wet, is there anything else I want to do? Anything else I want to do? To add a little bit more depth, because once it's wet, once it's dry, you have to go about doing it a whole different, you have to pretty much restart the technique again, if possible. So let's see, I like this area. I think this area is pretty good. Maybe I'm going to just add a little dab of red to it. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I am going to put some color on it like this, and we'll hope for the best. In order to do that, I don't want to get too much on the cat itself, so we are going to take my paper towel. And we're going to put it over the cat. Lightly, because we don't want it to pick up too much color. And if some gets on the paw here, I'm okay. I'll be okay with that. All right, here we go. There we go. Like that. And maybe some blue as well. And this blue pen's a little crazy, so what you should always do, you should always have a experimental piece nearby so you can try new things. So I'm going to try and see how much blue comes off here. Okay, not too much. Excellent. This is from before I did this art hour. I was fiddling around with some techniques. Okay, here we go. There we go. Ta-da. Did get some on the aviators. That's okay. I'm going to be painting over that soon. Okay, so kind of got, because of the red and of the blue, it kind of has this green-orange dots on the yellow. And then all around here, it looks like there's some blue here, some blue made it up here, and some red dots around here, which I quite like. It adds a different kind of texture. This feels like this ended up being a little bit too much though, so I'm going to pick some of that up before it gets too dry. There we go. Good enough. All right. I think the last little section here is this area right here. And then the outline of the cat will be pretty much done. And we can get on to the bikini. We can get on to this little 6 nipple ready bikini. Okay. I'm going to call this done. This is done for right now. Okay. Let's see, who all is here? Oh my goodness, people are still here. Oh, that's so exciting. Thank you for staying with me. So here we go. We're going to, I think, start with the aviators. I'm going to kind of rotate this a little bit. Now, aviators are known to be very reflective and large. So when doing a reflective surface with watercolor, you have to be very careful about what areas get wet and what areas get dry, and where the light source is coming from. So because I already got a little bit of blue here accidentally in a way that I'm okay with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the light source is going to be coming from the upper left corner, and shining on this cat's sun-kissed this cat. And so that way, when I go to do the aviators, the light source is on the top left, and the darkest point of the light source will be here on the bottom right. And if it doesn't turn out, you know what's going to happen? You know what I'm going to do? I am just going to paint it over with some white. Preferably, you don't have to go do that, but what I have found is that with watercolor, more so than almost any other medium I have encountered, you have to incorporate some other type of media with it. I haven't ever bought gouache before. Apparently it's a kind of a white watercolor. but generally you have to go in with like pens, you have to go in with acrylics, you have to go in with all sorts of, let's see, all sorts of different types of mediums that in order to make the watercolor work, because watercolor by itself is very difficult to make stand by itself. So I just cleaned out the green. That makes you a multimedia artist. Damn Skippy. Alright, so I cleaned out the green that was in here, and we're gonna make the right shade of purple. And I think we'll go along the same lines as how the green went, where it was a lot of blue, and then just a tad of red, just like I did, just a tad of yellow. It'll be that very cool blue, a very cool green. And I'll make a very cool purple. Okay. I have found that mixing red and blue is a very interesting experiment in and of itself, because when you do it with just the colors, you get a very dark color that wouldn't be either blue. It's darker than the blue and it's darker than the red would be just by themselves. It's almost black. Okay. So I see that I'm going to be having that problem here, so we're going to be needing just a little bit more red than I would have anticipated. There we go. Kind of brighten it up a little bit. Let's see how this looks on that piece of experimental paper. I'm not too thrilled about this color. That's not working for me. Okay, I'm gonna dab some of this up. Ooh, that's cool. This is a cool effect. I'm gonna have to remember that for later. I'm gonna put some more blue in. And then what might have to happen is I will just need to water it down to get what I'm looking for. Okay. Here we go, second try. That is surprisingly black from what I was expecting. Okay. So this is, again, something I was not really anticipating. So what we'll do, instead of just using the primary colors like I've been using this whole time, which is usually normally just fine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the rest of the pens and see what works best for me. And so we'll go with what is the most purpley of it, which is purpley of them all, is called quinacridone magenta. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it also kind of still, it's vibrant, it's more vibrant, but it kind of has that brownish look I'm not looking for. This would have been something I probably should have tested before before I started this piece. But since this is pretty much, I'm here to just get something done, any art done. And then so you guys can be along here for the ride and maybe learn something along the way. So I added some of the magenta to what my mixture already was. And I think I'm just going to stick with what that color is going to be the color I'm going to work with for my aviators. Aviators are, I guess, aviators are a little bit more of a yellow-brown anyway. Not that a yellowish brown is something you ever really want to encounter. How about a warm brown? How about that? So, okay. My water is a little bit too colorful. I'll be right back to get more clean water. So we have a clearly a purple glasses and purple swimsuit. Okay, thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Okay. So whenever you're lightening something with watercolor, pretty much the only thing you have to do is add water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put water where I want the color to be. And it looks like this area is pretty much dry, so I won't be at risk of smudging anything. Or color leaking into the where it shouldn't. And we'll just start, let's see. Let's start with the bottom right. Of the glasses. Oh, there is a little bit of water still here. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. Ding, 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 ding. This yellow can dry. I'm gonna push on it. I've kind of ruined a little bit of the effect, but I'm impatient. That area is now dry. I want to move on to the next bit here. There we go. Okay. Let's get some of this purple into this dark area and see how it goes. Ta-da! Okay, that works. The area around it is still wet, huh? Well, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is for right now. That's clearly not gonna work though, if we want the aviators to look really clear and crisp. So we're gonna move on to something that doesn't need to look clear and crisp. The bikini. The bikini. And we'll just use the same purple. And this should be really relatively simple. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Now let's connect the two. So again, when doing research for this, I got to learn how bikinis were made, specifically how to draw a bikini. There are several different types out there. And a lot of them revolve around, having support for the ladies. But since a cat doesn't need that kind of support, it's mostly just for coverage. It's about how much coverage do you need. Okay. So I think I'm going to put water there. I got a drip on it. Let's take care of that drip. It kind of looks like a tie-dye now, doing it like that. It's a tie-dye bikini. Thank you all for your patience while I figure this out. It means a lot to me. Okay, and so for this last one, it's going to be not tied in any way, but it's going to be part of an actual swimsuit. So let's get the whole swimsuit painted and ready to go. Can you guys all see that? There we go. Gotta be wary. This area right here is still wet. So we're just gonna get close, but not close enough to touch. And by the way, I cannot imagine that any cat bikini is going to ever be comfortable because of the tail. The tail cannot possibly be comfortable. Okay, let's continue this tie-dye adventure. I don't know if you can see it, but it has this grainy after effect that I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, so for tie-dye, let's kind of have it be towards the center, yeah? Four-piece bikinis will most certainly become a thing. Oh yeah. Okay. Very cool. I'm a fan. That works. Right now to add some definition to these lines, the outer area. Okay. All right. So, wasn't expecting a tie-dye bikini, but that's what happened, so I'm okay with it. I'm glad. Got a tie-dye bikini happening. Okay. I might go in later with a pen to make this more clean cut. Okay, now for the glasses. And just because of how the nature of watercolor is and how that first attempt went, I think I'm going to. Ooh, a tie-dye fig leaf. Oh my God. Shannon. Shannon. I don't think the Lord intended this. Uh, let's see. So I think I'm going to go over with a pen for the aviator glasses as well. And so I think let's see, what time is it? This is earlier than it usually ends up happening. Usually takes a couple hours, but I guess I chose a silhouette, so that made it much easier, so I didn't have to do all the cat details like the paws or the face or the fur on the ears or anything like that. So this time around, this art hour is pretty quick. I like how this kind of ended up looking floofy. I might go back with some acrylic paints later or something along those lines to kind of floofen those up a little bit. But for right now, just because of how the water has been working today and the amount of detail required, I'm just going to let this dry and then I'm going to go back and do the details. Okay. I won't say anymore. No, I think that was hilarious. You should say more. You should say more. Okay. And I think that's gonna be it for today. Um, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate you coming out and watching me paint. And I will have a like 2-minute version of this uploaded onto Instagram and Facebook here sometime by the end of the day. If you have any tips or tricks that you want to add, just put it in the comments below. Or message me on either Facebook or Instagram. I am available those ways. And yeah, I hope you all have a great Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Ah, or I'll just accidentally press the screen and it will not finish. Finish!